Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read SCP Foundation Wiki. So, in the last episode, we finished up entry 93. In this episode, we're starting at 94, and I'm aiming to hit 100. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but if it passes an hour and I'm not there yet, I will keep going, because all I got is 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and then I'm at 100, which is Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee. So, let's get started. No, sound 94, which is a miniature event horizon, is Keeter class. Since 94 is apparently immobile, a research and containment facility has been built around his location, centered at 4 blank 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 degrees south, 6 blank 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 degrees west, in the guise of an Argentinian military research base. No unauthorized persons or aircraft may come within 1 kilometer of the site, enforced by joint SCP and Argentinian forces. 94 itself is enclosed in a gas-permeable steel-reinforced plexiglass cube, 3 meters on a side with a single door, also made of reinforced plexiglass in one side. Plexiglass doors sounds really awkward. Anyway, this door must remain locked at all times except with O5 authorization under tightly controlled conditions. This cube is kept in the center of a 20 by 20 meter room with accessible level 4 authorization. All personnel must secure themselves to tethers anchored to the walls before stepping onto the floor of the room. Security personnel are to be armed with tranquilizer guns in addition to standard armaments. 94 appears to be a perfectly black sphere, 163 centimeters in diameter. I almost said 7 for some reason. I kept almost just saying 7. Suspended approximately 3 meters off the ground with no apparent means of support. 95 has been classified as a miniature event horizon. Any matter that moves into 94, including light, is irretrievably gone. However, 94 is not a black hole since it does not exert a gravitational pull. 94 has been known to occasionally emit a number of different sounds, including ambient sounds of nature, static buzzing, and sometimes human speech. No attempts to communicate with it have yet succeeded. It is unknown whether these sounds came from 94 itself, from something or things inside of 94, or from some area that connects through 94. A small percentage of persons appear to be drawn to 94 because of the sounds it emanates. 94 was discovered in 1920-something in the Chubut province of Chubut? I don't know. Southern Argentina. Why have I been saying Argentina? Because Argentinians. And at the time was estimated to be 20 to 25 centimeters in diameter. Analysis of historical records indicates that the diameter of 94 doubles in size approximately every 31 years. Primary research activities on 94 are concentrated on finding out how to stop or reverse its growth without inducing cataclysmic failure. Addendum: the hand on SCP-1032, designated 1032-15, will achieve its midnight event on 9/4/2690, approximately the same date as 94 will fully engulf the Earth at its current rate of expansion. Note, a few millimeters a month may not seem like much, and no, at the moment you cannot see 94 change day to day, but if it continues its exponential growth, in less than 250 years it will be a kilometer wide, including vertically. And that is assuming it does not even grow faster. Does not grow even faster, which is an assumption that almost no one here makes. Dr. Llewellyn Garcia. Okay, that sounds deadly. Next up is the Atomic Adventures of Ronnie Raygun. I feel like that's going to say safe. Yup! Okay. 95 is to be placed in a standard polyethylene sleeve when not under scheduled research and stored in a standard locked filing cabinet to prevent damage or wear. High-resolution digital scans are available for any level 1 or above personnel who wish to view it. 95 appears to be a set of 3 moderately aged black and white comic books printed in 1932. The front and rear covers are missing and several pages have been rendered illegible due to water damage. It was found by Agent Someone in a small antique shop in Denver, Colorado, and purchased for a small fee without incident. The owner of the shop had apparently not read the item past the publisher's date on the first page. Forensic inspections of 94 have revealed it to be genuine, though completely unremarkable save for its content. It is printed on cheap pulp paper and inked with dyes common to other publications of its era. The publisher's stamp indicates it was produced by Future Funnies, a company operating out of the town of Purple Lake, Ohio. All research and inquiries thus far have shown both the company and the town to be completely non-existent. The comic itself is a pulp science fiction story entitled The Atomic Adventures of Ronnie Raygun, featuring a lead character bearing an unmistakable resemblance to former United States President Ronald Reagan. Ha, Ronnie Ray Gun. I get it. Each story opens with a large panel reading, in the far-fetched future world of the 1980s, only Ronnie Ray Gun can save the day. It appears to follow an episodic format with one self-contained story per publication. The 3 stories are briefly described below. Ronnie vs. Space Admiral Carter. This story pits planetary governor Ronnie Ray Gun and his sidekick Space Major Herbert against the titular Space Admiral Carter as they both vie for the position of Space Marshal. The events loosely follow the events of the 1980 presidential election. Space Assassin. This story follows a character named Spaceman Hinckley as he prepares to assassinate Space Marshal Ray Gun. He manages to catch Ray Gun by surprise and wound him with his Devastator Ray before being subdued by Ray Gun's soldiers. The events obviously refer to the 1981 assassination attempt by John Hinckley Jr. Jungle Planet. This story follows Ray Gun's attempts to create an army of robots on the jungle-covered planet of Nika in order to protect it from the evil sand bandits. Although Ray Gun is told he will lose his command if he interferes with events on planet Nika, he sends his lieutenant, Space Colonel West, to secretly build a force under the cover of the jungle. When their plan is discovered, Space Colonel West publicly takes the blame and saves his superior. The storyline appears to be a simplified retelling of the Iran-Contra controversies of 1986. Possibly most interesting is the final page of each book, which advertises other stories published by future funnies. Investigation is underway to locate any surviving copies at once. The advertised stories are listed below. Space Major Herbert assumes command. Starman Willie versus the Space Succubus. that's probably Clinton. Globe Walker in Sneak Attack. Barry Beetlejuice on planet Athgar. Sky Marm Sarah of the Ice World. Flying Franken versus Rocket Rush. Star Command Proton in a losing battle. The New Menace. Death to Mankind. Personal log of Dr. Somebody. 10/6/2004. I don't think I need to emphasize how important it is to recover any and all of the advertised stories immediately. The final 2 in particular. So I'm not sure about Space Major Herbert, but I can definitely guess what Starman Willie versus the Space Succubus is. Anyway, next up is the Shy Guy. Is it like a Shy Guy from Mario 2? It's Euclid, whatever it is. Okay, so 96 is to be contained in its cell in a 5x5x5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside 96's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure 96 presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of 96's likeness are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. Somebody in 05 something. Description. Okay, there we go. 96 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. They tiny. Subject, I guess? I don't know, how tall is that? How tall is that in American measures? America. I don't know meters. It is 2 feet. Oh, holy shit, that is not tiny. That is almost 8 feet tall. Yeah, it's terrifying. Very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is devoid of pigment. Did I close that window? What's 1.5 meters? His arms are 4 feet long? Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation with no sign of any body hair. Their jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether 96 are blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain function and is not considered to be sapient. 96 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views 96's face, whether it be directly via recording or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. This sounds like one of the SCP-01s, I think. Unless I'm thinking of when Markiplier was playing SCP Containment Breach and this thing was after him. Because if this is the thing that I think the thing is, holy shit. Anyway. However, when someone views its face, whether it be directly via video recording or even a photograph, every time I do it makes me laugh. It will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. 96 will cover its face with his hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, 96 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will from this point on be referred to as 96-1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is that. But I'll open that so I can check it out. Documented speeds have varied from 35 kilometers per hour to something else kilometers per hour, and seem to depend on the distance from 96-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede 96's progress. The actual position of 96-1 does not seem to affect the response. It seems to have an innate sense of 96-1's location. Note! This reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See document 96-1, which I will see momentarily. Upon entering the 96-1's location, it will proceed to kill and probably eat 96-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of 96-1. 96 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat, data redacted. Ahay! I'm really not looking forward to coming across this thing when I play this game in October. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. Dr. Somebody has also petitioned for immediate termination of 96. Order is awaiting approval. Okay, never mind. Termination has been approved and is to be carried out by Dr. Blank on data redacted. See Incident 96-1A. Oh wait, it's right there. Why did that open to us? Is it not that? Okay, audio log from interview 96-1. Interviewer Dr. Someone. Interview Captain something something. Former commander of retrieval team Zulu 9A retrieval incident 96-1A. Okay, so maybe I should read incident 1A first. Okay, how long is this document? Okay, well I guess okay, let's read this one. Not this one, this one. So, containment has been attained. Yes, Doctor. Let me see the security footage. Begin log. A large steel cube is shown in the middle of a research lab, which is teeming with a dozen or so researchers. In view of the camera is a control booth displaying readings from the various sensors inside the cube. Fast forward 1 minute 32 seconds. The control booth operator leans forward, alerted to the various readings on the sensors. Approximately 5 seconds later, a steel wall in the containment cube receives a sizable dent bending outward. The dent becomes larger before breaking. 96 is seen bending the steel away, frantically trying to escape. Emergency plates drop on the cube as a containment breach is sounded. The security tape has 96's face blurred out as per containment protocol. 2 security teams enter the room as 96 breaks out of containment. Live rounds and tranquilizer darts are fired to no visible effect. Approximately 90% of researchers and security personnel have directly viewed 96's face, and a code Lima is declared. The room and surrounding areas are sealed and flushed with something class nerve agent. Approximately 2 minutes later, 96 breaches research site blank and travels blank kilometer per hour through the outside desert traveling blank. End log. Echo Romeo Actual was assigned to immediate containment breach. When we realized just how big a breach we were dealing with, we were completely overwhelmed. Funny how even the best and brightest minds in the world can be so unprepared. So you're saying it's your own fault? Absolutely not. This was a new discovery in 96 behavior. We had no way to know, and we are lucky it did not turn into an XK. Begin log helm cam footage from ERA5. Footage from inside shows an 60. From inside an 60 shows 96 on the desert floor moving at a considerable speed. This is Echo Romeo Actual. We have visual of the target at data expunge knots and increasing. ARA1 listed radio orders identifies something from Dr. Dan. Are relayed. 96 can be seen slowly gaining speed. Motions off camera. ERA3 appears, holding a modified XM500 anti-material rifle. 2 shots are fired. The first misses and the second hits 96 in the lower leg. Stumbles but recovers. Speed change is insignificant. Repeat, no effect on target. Motions to ERA3 again. Fires 3 more shots. First 2 miss, third hits him in the head. Falls, skids, rolls, reducing its speed minimally. Rolls to feet, continues unabated. Camera pans up to see 8 V-22 Ospreys flying overhead and past the helicopters on the same outbound vector as 96. Camera cuts out. Video interview. Dr. Oleski appears very calm, determined, and answers all questions slowly and deliberately. Where were you exactly at the time of the breach? On break, getting a cup of coffee. It was pure luck I wasn't caught in the containment area. Describe your actions directly after the containment breach. I sent Echo Romeo Actual after 96 and alerted Dr. Dan to the situation. We then set upon the task of locating 96-1. Once the general direction of 96 was determined, I sent Mobile Task Force Tau 1 ahead to evacuate civilian population centers in 96's path. All according to containment protocol. Interview 96-1B. Dr. Daniel sits patiently. On the table in front of him is what looks to be a set of modified night vision goggles. For the record, where were you exactly during 96's containment breach? In the Data Expunge mountain range, trying to find more information on 96's origins. It was a quick research expedition, so I left Dr. Alexei in charge of containment. He's competent enough, if a bit eager, and has proved himself in the past. This is all confirmed by the various related paperwork, so don't go thinking it was just for the record, Doctor. Now, knowing that 96 is immune to all forms of damage while in an enraged state, why would you order the sniper attacks from the emergency response team? Why not? If there was a chance to slow down 96 and give MTF Tau 1 more time, then we had to try it. It put ERA in no danger, and the choppers were in danger of being outrun anyway. Honestly, ERA could do a little ease to help or harm. Do little to ease or help. They couldn't fuck it up any worse. I see. Now, could you explain this? Motions to goggles lying on the table. Yes, this is Project Scramble, an eyepiece we assigned to ERA and MTF Tau 1, designed by Dr. Alexei and myself specifically for 96. It carries a small microprocessor which constantly analyzes the viewing field for the facial features of 96. Facial recognition software inside instantly identifies them, scrambling the image into an unrecognizable mess before the light reaches the human eye. It's quite ingenious, really. And expensive. Very, which is why it's such a shame it didn't work. Audio transcript between MTF Tau 1 and modified EG 3 Century AWACS callsign Big Brother. Ospreys in the air moving, data expunged at data expunge, awaiting vector. Electronics online, cruising altitude reached. Uploading program scramble to all camera systems. Cameras online, Big Brother is now watching. What outbound vector is the target currently heading? Target is currently westbound, traveling on... shit. Yeah, he's on the I-40. I think he just flipped a semi. Outbound vector is data expunged by data expunge. Next town on this vector is data expunge. I'd say a couple 100 kilometers. Shit. MTF, we're suggesting Echo Romeo begin evacuating the I-40. I don't know how many cars the target has wrecked. Hold one, that's a negative, Big Brother. ERA is reporting the target is outrunning their choppers. They can't get ahead of him. Then we need to stop the motorists on the other lane. I don't know how many people have seen this thing's face. The first 3 incidents of Tau 1 succeeded in gathering the townsfolk in the first 3 towns without incident. 96-1 was confirmed to not be in any of these when 96 ran through each in turn without stopping. However, a video log in MTF Tau shows 96-1 being identified in the town of Data Expunge and the ensuing incident. Show it. Helm cam footage from Element 4 of MTF Tau 1 in the town of Blank. Most of the townspeople are gathered in the square, all blindfolded. Helicopters sweep the town. Indistinct orders are heard over loudspeakers from both the helicopters and ground personnel. MTF T1 over Talcom radio and loudspeakers. The target is entering proximity zone. All units activate scramble gear, begin crowd control procedures. All civilians are not to move from their spot or remove their blindfolds. If you move or touch your blindfold, you will be shot. I repeat, all civilians are... Orders are drowned out by a loud shriek coming from outside the camera's view. Approximately 2 kilometers away, 96 is seen to be coming over the crest of the hills. It tries to slow down on the descent but trips and tumbles down at high speed, crashing through several houses before regaining its footing almost without delay. Unknown voice over loudspeakers. Civilians are not to move, you will be shot! Several shots are heard, none of which are directed at 96. 96 stops for 1 second before running into the crowd of townsfolk, throwing many aside and trampling more. More shots are heard as the crowd begins dispersing. The loudspeakers unintelligible under the vocalizations of 96. 96 locates 96-1, a middle-aged man, and the camera views 96 grabbing him before it is hit by a fleeing townsperson and dislocated from the helmet. Next log. Major Jack Wilford, current commander of Tau 1. I was looking through 96-1's house with my squad. Poor bastard was a semi-pro mountaineer, took a trip to the blank. Apparently he took a snapshot of the landscape and just happened to catch 96 in the background. Holds up 4 fingers for emphasis. 4 pixels. 4 fucking pixels! I doubt the guy even knew what he saw. He was probably just looking at the picture one day, noticed an off-color patch of snow, and went on with his day. How'd you find it? Our scramble gear picked it up right away. Lieutenant got the picture and took it down to the chopper before I even got to see it. By then the damn monster had taken down Big Brother and it peeled open the former Major Striker. All hell was breaking loose. So the scramble gear was ineffective. Ineffective? The goddamn scramble were pieces of shit that killed the whole damn task force. You know only 3 people are alive besides me? All because some retard egghead thought of a state-of-the-art countermeasure to 96 hostile reaction. These bloody idiots could have just put a bag over the target's head and be done with it, but no! We had to use state-of-the-art fucking scramble! Picture secured by MTF Tau. 96 circled and yellow blocked out. Getting logged, Dr. Dan. What did that fucker call me? Pushes back from the table but gets standing up. I'll show that goddamn son of a bitch what an egghead is after I bash open his interviewer begins shouting and cursing. 2 guards enter the room and push Dr. Dan back into the seat. Do we need to administer a sedative, Doctor? Dr. Dan takes a deep breath and smooths his coat. No, I apologize. Scramble was really an ingenious idea. However, it was a failure because we did not fully know how 96 worked. You see, as the chip inside Scramble picked up 96 facial features and began scrambling them, there was a split second of uninterrupted light flow to the retina. Computers are fast, but not as fast as light. So there was a split second image of 96's direct face sent to the brain. It wasn't even consciously received, but apparently was enough to trigger the hostile reaction to 96. So, with this report of the photograph, that's the most disturbing part of this whole incident. You know when the former 96-1 went on his mountain trip? 1990 blank. That's blank years of that photo hanging there before he saw 96. Since the brain doesn't need to be aware that it's viewing 96's face to trigger the reaction, there can be ticking time bombs hidden literally anywhere in the world. How many photographs are out there containing 96, just going unnoticed, waiting for a careful eye? As I said before, I want this thing terminated. Now. Just a quick question, Doctor. What exactly were you planning on doing there? Major Jack Wilford was a top-notch SBS when we recruited him. I was also a recon medic, sir, and was deployed in the Caucasus or whatever. Marines beat SBS. No, they don't. Enough, both of you. Moving on. Chief Master Sergeant Blank, door gunner attached to ERA. I got the bag over its head. Yes, you've told me that. Could you tell me exactly what transpired? It was done with all... It was just sitting there in the highway. Just got done ripping open a minivan. And... West landed the chopper. I got out and bagged it. I put the bag over its head. It got calm and they took it. So the victims in the minivan were the last to have viewed 96's face? Blank? Interviewee remained silent for the remainder of the interview and was released. He was later found in his bunk room having committed suicide via hanging with a makeshift rope. A half-crushed pacifier was found in his fist. Video log 96-1D. Confiscated tape from news broadcast CNN. The image shows first responders surrounding the remains of a crashed plane over the shoulder of a field reporter. The plane, which seems to be military in origin, has no outward markings designated as a part of the U.S. military. When first responders look for a black box recording, it is thought by police that the plane crashed due to a massive cabin breach in both the cockpit and fuselage. The reporter motions to a large hole inside the plane, which several firefighters are climbing inside. Paramedics have only found 3 bodies, which is odd for a plane apparently requiring a crew of around 20 men. Police have suggested the reporter is cut off as 3 super stallions are shown hovering overhead, 2 of which landed and began unloading troops belonging to MTF Epsilon. Shut off the camera! Shut off the motherfucking N-log! So, are we finished here? One last question, Doctor. Or statement, as it seems. We find it interesting that there was no break room at research site blank. Or coffee. Interviewee remained silent. We think it would be best if you begin talking. Remainder of interview log 91A is redacted. I don't see what that has to do with me. There's no reason to play dumb, Doctor. He told us everything. Well, then I guess there's no use feigning anything, is there? Audio recording 05 hearing. Upon reviewing your testimony and available footage and the confession of the late Dr. Alexei, It is the unanimous agreement of the O5 that you are to be terminated for your part in the gross breach of 96. And I thought you would know the meaning of for the greater good. Do not try my patience, Doctor. Given the incident's scope and potential, the O5 has approved your request for the termination of 96. Given the lack of personnel with understanding of 96, the termination will be entrusted to you under heavy guard and the personal supervision of me. Your own termination will be scheduled at a later date. That's horrible, Doctor. How could you knowingly... It worked? There was only a matter of time until that happened at a major population center, and its face spread all over the world news. I can kill 96, but I've killed myself in the process. Okay, so it sounds like the Doctor caused the release of 96 on his own so that he could prove to them it needed to be killed. Okay, so... And that didn't... I guess that was just one of the things. So now back to this. Retrieval incident. Captain something. It always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up. And you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to stop bag and tag, didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. Could you describe the mission, please? That's probably Dr. Dan. Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9B and Dr. Blank. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out then and there. Your report says 96 didn't react to the cold? It was negative blank degrees Celsius. Actually, it was negative blank. And yes, it was butt naked and didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. Blank called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned and my whole squad saw it. That's when 96 entered an agitated emotional state. Yup. Sorry, I got the willies for a second. That's alright. Yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the ass. Could you describe it a little more, please? Yeah, it started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, though. It sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal Blank and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help. Fucking A. Anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the target round for round. Didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started did expunge him, probably eating. That's when you ordered the use of a AT-4 HEDT launcher? An anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP Blank got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper, did the same thing to the target. There was significant damage to 96. It didn't even fucking flinch. It just kept tearing apart my squad, but with half its torso gone. But it was taking damage. If it was, it wasn't showing it. Must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though. Just kept tearing my squad apart. So no actual structural damage. How many rounds did you say were fired at 96? At the least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds! That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well have been spitting at it. This is when Zulu 9B arrived. Yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. Maybe we got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. Jackass. We've obtained an artist's depiction of 96's face. Would you like to view it? You know, after hearing that thing's screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No, just no. Alright, I believe we're done here. Thank you, Captain. Chairs are heard moving and footsteps leave the room. Captain Blank is confirmed to have left interview room 22. Let this be on record that I am formally requesting 96 be terminated as soon as possible. Okay, so yeah, that was the incident that made Dr. Dan do whatever it was he did to make 96 get terminated. Now, here's an experiment. Experiment 96-1 is headed by Dr. Dan. The purpose is to test 96 abilities while obtaining complete physical description of 96. D9031 is a 32-year-old convicted felon and former tattoo artist. They are placed inside the bathysphere 303A, which is then lowered into the Tonga Trench off the coast of New Zealand. Positioned as approximately blank kilometers from 96 temporary containment cell at site blank. The following was recorded via video surveillance inside the bathysphere 303A between it and Dr. Dan's control site on the New Zealand mainland. Reaches final depth of 10,800 meters. It stopped. What now? Do you feel fine? No sickness, anything? My ears hurt. That should be expected. Now on your left should be a steel container. Open it, there will be a manila folder containing several photographs. Open it and describe the first photograph, please. Complies, the camera is located so the photograph cannot be seen. Nothing, it's an empty cell. Thank you. Please set this photograph face down in the receptacle to your right and look at the next photograph. It's the same cell, but there's a foot in it, I think? Describe it, please. It's pale and bony. Sort of creepy, actually. Place the photograph in the receptacle face down and look at the next one. Okay. Oh, shit! Describe the photograph? It's I don't know, some creepy-ass person. Describe the photograph, please. Hell, man, he's pale, his white eyes. Something fucked up is happening with his mouth. What the hell is that thing? At this point, approximately 1332 Standard Time, Dr. Dan and Experiment Control is notified that 96 has breached containment. The fastest path to 96-1 has been cleared of civilians and other image-containing capturing devices. 96 is now being tracked by satellites via tracking collar. On your right, there should be another steel container. Open it! It's a pad of paper and a pencil. It's a pad of paper and a pencil. Yes, please draw a sketch of the photograph you saw. 96-1 mumbles an expletive and spends the next 20 minutes drawing a sketch of the photograph. At the time of completion, 96 is confirmed to be blank kilometers away from him. I'm done. Good, place the drawing in the receptacle on your left and close the door. 96-1 complies and the sketch leaves bathysphere 303A in a watertight buoyancy container. The other photographs are then incinerated in the onboard incinerator. What now? Please stand by. 40 minutes pass. 96 is now confirmed to be at 96-1's location and is diving. Transponder signal ends at 9339 meters as pressure goes beyond the device's operational limits. The camera shows the bathysphere shaking slightly. From 96-1's reaction, it is assumed 96 is on the hull and is visible through the viewport. Oh fuck! Shit! What the fuck is that? Audio and video and audio feed is cut as the whole of the bathysphere 303 is breached. 96 is recovered by Surface Recovery Team Foxtrot 303A without incident. Sketch of 96 is also recovered and a quick test confirms no hostile reaction from 96. Sketch is sent to Experiment Control on New Zealand while 96 is moved to permanent containment. Cow, probably don't need to have that open anymore, so... yeah, that's that guy. The shy guy. Now let's take a look at the old fairgrounds. The old fairgrounds are Euclid. Let's find out why. 97 is contained within the limits of the property where it was initially discovered, Zone SCP-97. The property is surrounded by an 8-meter tall concrete block fence fitted with barbed wire and security camera systems. Satellite images of Zone 97 are to be doctored, removing all traces of the area. Any and all new plant growth outside the containment area suspected to originate from within SCP is to be sterilized through application of boiling salt water and or incinerated. Absolutely all abnormal behavior is to be reported to Dr. Bridge within 10 minutes of occurrence. If any personnel or their families experience hallucinations or thematically related dreams outside of containment, they are to contact Dr. Bridge's scout treatment, which is probably death. Localities surrounding 97, specifically redacted, are to be monitored from the 1st of April until the 1st of November every year for affected civilians. Medical establishments dealing with sleep abnormalities are to be monitored for signs of 97 influence. Civilians below the age of 16 encountered alone within 1 square kilometer of Zone 97 are to be taken into Foundation custody and are to be treated with Class B amnestic and returned home, or the nearest police station. Personnel tasked with the return of civilians are to avoid public exposure. Each agent is to be assigned a cover story to follow if they do encounter civilians en route to their destinations. See Level 3 staff for details. The morning after the first frost of the year, a team of 25 agents armed with agricultural tools are to enter 97 and clear away the outer plant matter. This process is not to continue past dusk. Description. Oh, looks like there's a whole bunch of extra shit in here. SCP-97 is a 10-acre area of land in the state of Blank in the midwestern United States. It is the abandoned remains of the Blank County Fair 1969, an area of approximately 2.3 kilometers squared. Structures within the SCP area exist in a state of moderate disrepair, consistent with the expected age and environment. At the center of 97 lie the remains of a 1956 Buick pickup truck, majority of which is crushed beneath a colossal pumpkin of unknown subtype, henceforth 97-1. 97-1 stands approximately 24.3 feet tall and 26.8 feet in diameter at its widest. Current estimates put 97-1 at approximately 15,000 kilograms, approximately 33,000 pounds. This pumpkin remains roughly spherical in shape instead of spreading out under its own weight as would be expected of a plant of its size. The remaining portion of 97, approximately 2 kilometers squared, is an overgrown with several dozen varieties of pumpkins, with over 70 subspecies yet identified, and many previously unknown to agriculture. Many of these pumpkins have been shown capable of growing to enormous sizes, the average estimated weight being around 250 kilograms. These pumpkins, along with the other assorted crops, grow on and around the remains of the 1969 fairgrounds, creating a maze-like arrangement of plant life. The average height of the walls within 97 is 1.6 meters, though this may vary from year to year. Between April and November of each year, the area within 97 has produced a number of anomalous phenomena, ranging from benign to implicitly aggressive. To date, 17 ages have been severely maimed within 97, 8 having died. See Event Log 97 for a brief list of recorded phenomena. Okay, let's check that out. Let's see. Cameras view child, 4 years of age, walk between tangles of plants for over an 8-minute period. Appear to be dragging a stuffed animal. Human scream heard. Small child voice, 3 minutes before stopping. Several bedsheet ghosts are seen through various security fields. Unidentified singing. Oh. Agent McRoy cuts a pumpkin's vine with a machete. It bled 50 liters of human blood before shriveling. Overnight, 2 separate pumpkin patches grew into the rough approximations of a humanoid figures lying on the ground. Agent Long found decapitated with his neck against a pumpkin. All light bulbs on site burned out with a 2-minute period. Sudden shift noted in location of several dozen gourd plants. Agent Cole accidentally damages and breaks pumpkin during weekly examination of 97. Pumpkin split opens, revealing a complete human child skeleton in the fetal position. 29 freshly decapitated crows found inside the containment wall. A matured pumpkin plant found to have replaced a potted plant growing inside Dr. Bridges' office. Agent Matthews falls unconscious during patrol and cannot be awoken until removed from the property. Research Agent Stern reports overwhelming taste and scent of pumpkin permeating her senses. Steady sound of drums throughout the day. Male child approximately 6 and in pajamas seen climbing through cornstalks on the eastern end. All personnel within 3.6 kilometers report hallucinations of orange haze and children's laughter. All power and backup power to the area failed. Upon recovery, blank pumpkins within 97 were found to have changed into carved lanterns. 97 Alpha reports seeing... Team 97 Alpha reports seeing and hearing children playing amongst the floor within 97. Recordings lack the entities expected from reports. Zaya Mace... and Dorada kernels fall from the sky around 97, does not fall within containment walls. Research Assistant O'Toole overcome with nausea and vomits pumpkin seeds. Did not eat pumpkin seeds prior to vomiting. Research Assistant O'Toole dies. Autopsy reveals thoracic cavity was filled with pumpkin seeds. Unintelligible whispering gibberish heard by fertile female personnel throughout the area when in view of 97. Phenomena continues throughout the day, continuing for the duration of 97's cycle until November 1st. Headlight of vehicle underneath 97-1, light and stay lit until daybreak. Fruit trees within 97 blossom over the course of 5 hours, beginning at roughly 7 o'clock. Flowers wither and fall soon after. Pumpkins near south entrance to 97 began spontaneously bleeding from the stem. Continued to bleed for 3 hours. Several unidentified spheres of red light viewed drifting above 97 and surrounding area. When light was shown directly on spheres, a piercing shriek was heard. Sounds of steady drums were recorded from within 97, persist for the following 12 hours. All strawberry plants within 97 wither in unison. Between 25 and 30 animate human skeletons of varying size are recorded breaking out of larger pumpkins within 97. Skeletons traverse through 97's flora to the northeast peach tree and hang themselves from its branches using lengths of grapevine, electrical cable, and decaying rope. Skeletons ceased anomalous behavior after pantomiming death by hanging. Death throes continued for approximately 23 minutes. Skeletons recovered after first frost. All appeared under 12 years of age, no DNA matches. Skeletons incinerated after extermination. What did it say about the lady full of pumpkin seeds? Body incinerated at site blank. All personnel scheduled for physical examination. See? Seeds incinerated with prejudice. Okay then! Addendum historical note. Prior to the construction of 97's containment wall, instances of what are now known as 2171-1 were occasionally observed to form fragmented walls, and at one point a near-complete ring of 2171 around 97's area of effect. This behavior ceased following the containment wall's completion. The purpose and implications behind this interaction are as of yet unknown. The effects of 97 on children. In addition to its immediate effects outlined in the event log, freaky as that was, 97-1 appears to produce an undetectable signal towards children in an undetermined range. For clarity, children will refer to individuals up to the age of 10. Beginning in early April, civilian children within 97's undefined range may be overcome with... What the hell does that mean? Sleepwalking. On clear nights, affected children will move around their homes, stopping to face closed doorways for several seconds before moving to the next nearest doorway, eventually returning to bed. At first, this will only occur once a week, beginning with only the doors on a single floor. The sleepwalking will become more frequent, by mid-August happening every night. If forcibly awoken at any time during these episodes, they will scream for several seconds before succumbing to a degree of confusion. After affected a child is woken in this manner, the effect will cease and the child will never show any further signs of 97's influence. Over the course of 2 to 3 months, these episodes will become more thorough, affected individuals seeking out each doorway inside their home as well as those on their household's property such as garages, car doors, and fence gates. Eventually, they will begin visiting the front doors of neighbors. Beginning in September, affected children who have remained undisturbed during these episodes will begin to remain outside at sunrise, laying on grass near their homestead and returning to full REM sleep. Affected children may recall dreams centering around autumn activities. Between September 1st and November 1st, if the affected children have not been awoken during the preceding sleepwalking episodes, they will cease the previously established activity during the sleepwalk and instead begin to walk directly towards 97's location. They will travel over fields and down secondary roads, steadily moving toward 97. Local geography consists of mostly undeveloped Foundation-owned property, facilitating uninterrupted travel. Upon arrival at 97, an affected child will sit down before 97-1 and begin singing unidentifiable gibberish as music begins to play. While a number of instruments have been recorded, simple drums and pipes are the most consistently encountered. After several minutes, childlike entities will crawl out from tangled flora or break out of larger pumpkins within 97. The children will be wearing whatever they were last seen with, most often pajamas or similar clothing. Most of these entities will match those children known to be lost to 97-1. The entities will surround the affected civilian child, dancing and singing in a circle as 97-1 begins to emit dim light. The affected child will awaken, normally expressing a great deal of terror. The instant any vocalization is produced, the entities will swarm and kill the child. Methods used are different in each instance, but usually involve dismemberment or strangulation. At this point, any and all efforts to interrupt the entities will fail, whether through breakdown of equipment, sudden intangibility of the objects, or express violence on the part of 97. After the death of the affected child, 97-1 will split open and the entities will hurl the remains into it before climbing in themselves. 97-1 will then close and the music will stop. Before the containment wall was erected, at least blank children between the ages of 3 and 10 are known to have been lost to 97. Holy shit, what was this one? Euclid? Because I'm pretty sure they said that Euclid means it's not understood, but I'm pretty sure it's very understandable that this thing is killing people. That's not safe or Euclid. Anyway, surgeon crabs. Okay, surgeon crabs are safe. That is a spider. Okay, so members of 98 are to be kept in a 10 by 20 meter room with small pools of water and a sandy substrate. Whatever the fuck that is. Rocks and driftwood are to be left in a random arrangement for 98 to nest in. The enclosure is to be cleaned on a weekly basis. During this time, all members of 98 are to be accounted for first, to prevent injury or death to personnel or 98. Any members of 98 that appear ill or injured are to be removed and examined. 98 is a species of previously unknown crustacean. They resemble crabs, but rather than that, the front limbs terminate in knife-like structures that incorporate silica to form an extremely sharp edge. Specimens reach larger size than normal for land-dwelling arthropods, at 40 centimeters tall and as large as 60 centimeters across. Do I even want to know how tall that is in inches? Do y'all want to know how tall a 40 centimeter tall spider-looking knife crab is? Inches? That is a 15-inch tall spider crab knife creature. Specimens of 98 prefer an environment with ready concealment in shallow pools of water. They are able to breathe both water and air, splitting their time between the two environments. They are also capable of vocalizations, using a larynx-like structure attached to primitive lungs. 98 demonstrates pack hunting behavior when attacking prey. When specimens detect a prey animal, they will attempt to surround it. They will mimic the sounds made by the creature, apparently to confuse it or draw it into position. When ready, one specimen will approach the prey animal. When its attention is fixed on the first specimen, others will move behind the prey and attempt to cut the tendons of the legs or other limbs. They will continue to mimic the sounds the prey animal makes to disorient it. After making a cut, a specimen of 98 will spit a viscous mucus over the wound. This substance hardens rapidly, preventing blood loss or infection. This continues until the prey animal is completely immobilized. At this point, specimens will begin to feed on the prey animal by cutting off small pieces of flesh. This begins with soft, readily accessible tissue such as those of the face and extremities, before moving to other parts of the body. Specimens of 98 will only feed so long as the prey animal is capable of respiration. Feeding can last several hours or several days, depending on the size of the prey animal and the number of specimens present. Specimens of 98 show some ability to communicate, alerting each other to the presence of threats or potential food over short distances. It was initially thought that 98 might display human-level intelligence, but are now merely believed to parrot human speech. 98 normally poses little threat to adult humans, preferring smaller prey such as dogs, cats, and small pigs. However, they have attacked larger prey when a sufficient number of specimens were present, or else other food was unavailable. 98 was discovered in Blank, Brazil after a rash of child disappearances. Addendum: 98 is more intelligent than previously thought. They adapt quickly to changes in their environment and have shown an ability to remember patterns, such as feeding and cleaning times and habitual movement of personnel through entering their enclosure. Cleaning personnel must ensure that they regularly vary their routes through the enclosure to prevent incidents. Dr. Mann has taught several of them simple tricks, and they seem to understand the meaning of several commands. Testing will continue. Now the portrait. Not the crabs, the portrait. Are they called surging crabs because they just, like, cut tendons so you can't move? Okay, so the portrait is safe. Small photograph of 99 lacked the necessary detail to cause psychological harm. Oh, that's an eyeball. Weird. 99 is kept in a 1 meter by 75 centimeter wall-mounted fireproof case in Gallery 27. Standard climate and humidity controls applied to this section of the gallery. Due to its properties, 99 can only be viewed within the gallery by level 2 staff or higher, and only from a distance greater than 5 meters, and for a period not to exceed 5 minutes per day. When not being viewed, the case is to remain shut and electronically locked. Let's find out what the hell this is. 99 is a 73 by 50 centimeter painting titled The Portrait. Created in 1935 by surrealist painter René Magritte, the original painting possesses mimetic properties that trigger acute paranoia and lingering psychological effects when viewed for too long, or from a distance of approximately 3 meters or less. The painting depicts a simple still life with the addition of a single eye staring back at the viewer. A reproduction of the work currently hangs in the Museum of Modern Art in New York, with critical elements removed to prevent the paranoia trigger. For a detailed description of the changes, refer to document 99B, which is not here. Detailed reproductions and photographs of the original work retain its mimetic properties. Those who have viewed the painting for too long or from too close of a distance become subject to the delusion that any being or depiction of a being with eyes is staring at them. In extreme cases, subjects report that inanimate objects are making eye contact. The condition is so severe that subjects will even report making eye contact with individuals whose heads are completely turned away. Depending on the length of the original exposure to the painting, subjects may suffer from this condition until death, resulting in severe paranoia and fear of crowds. Addendum. 99 was recovered from the private collection of K. Sage, another surrealist painter. Recovery was performed by MTF Theta 6 Pink Panther. Mrs. Sage was unaware of the recovery and replacement of 99, although pre-recovery investigations suggest she was aware of its properties and was either immune or careful not to look too closely. Marguerite was still alive at the time 99 was stored in Gallery 27. He remained under Foundation surveillance until his death in 1967. Research suggests that the painting's mimetic trigger was intentionally created, although the effect and power of the trigger was likely unintentional. The Foundation has studied the rest of Marguerite's work and have found no anomalous mimetic properties to this date. Weaponized replication data expunged. Okay, so finally finished the first block of SCPs. It only took however many months that I've been doing this. So, let's take a look at Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee, and then that'll be the end of this episode. So, how many things are in here? What is this? Okay. SCP-100 is to have 6 guards patrolling the interior of the perimeters. Oh, it's Euclid. Shit. Interior of the perimeter's fencing and 2 guards dedicated to the monitoring of the interior and exterior of both warehouses and the residential building, with rotations to occur every 3 hours. Any unauthorized personnel found within 100 are to be detained for questioning prior to amnestic administration and release. 3 guards are to remain within the storefront of 100, with rotations to occur every 8 hours. The storefront front entrance is to remain locked at all times with keys provided to necessary personnel. Private property and no trespassing signs are to be posted on the front of the storefront to deter any drivers from stopping at 100. Any constructs 101 creates are to be removed from 100 and melted down into slag, with exception of 102A and 102B. Should 101 become uncooperative, 102A and 2B may be removed from 100 until that time that 101 becomes cooperative again. The largest of the 2 warehouses within 100 has been converted into a basic research facility. All objects created by 101, excluding 2A and 2B, may be used for research purposes. Testing on 100-1 itself may be conducted with written permission from the acting head researcher. Description: 100 is an abandoned scrapyard 80 kilometers from Blank, South Carolina, known as Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee. The scrapyard covers a roughly 5,000 square meters of fenced-off land, consisting of 2 warehouses, a storefront, and a small residential building, as well as neglected land and land used for storage. 100 holds roughly 1,500 vehicles, both pressed and unpressed, as well as roughly 1,400 kilograms of separate scrap, estimated to be worth $5,000. 100's anomalous effect manifests through 101 and its constructs, including 2A and 2B. Autonomy is lost when 100-1 or one of its objects cross the fence perimeter of 100, remaining in this state until reintroduction. 100-1 is an autonomous, sapient, humanoid construct consisting mostly of copper piping, insulated copper wiring, and aluminum cans. Are those car spiders? 2A and 2B are car spiders? SCP-100-1 lacks the ability for written or verbal communication. However, it possesses the ability to communicate using rudimentary sign language. 100-1 is largely uninterested in conversation outside of sales, and information gathered from it has been limited. 101 appears to possess skill in craftsmanship, demonstrating the ability to operate tools such as arc welders, drills, and power saws, as well as heavy machinery such as a car compressor and a forklift. 100-1 possesses the ability to create autonomous constructs similar to itself, using material available within 100. 101 tends to create 4 specific animals: iguanas, crocodiles, turtles, and flamingos. However, 100-1 has been known to craft other species, such as domestic pets. To maintain compliance, 100-1 has been allowed to keep 2 objects labeled 2A and 2B. 2A and 2B are constructs superficially resembling insects, assumed to be created by 100, as they have occupied 100 since initial discovery of 100. Sorry. The names Ramon and Beatrice are welded into the backs of 100, 2A and 2B respectively. They appear to operate as both companions as well as guards for 100 as they patrol the perimeter of 100 except during intervals of interaction with 100-1. Dash 1 appears to follow a ritualistic schedule, repeating the same actions daily. From 8 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Dash 1 enters the storefront of 100, seating itself behind a counter and attempting to bargain with any humans within the storefront. Occasionally, Dash 1 will return to the yard prematurely for reasons unknown. From 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., or excuse me, that's 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., Dash 1 interacts with 2A and 2B, communicating using vague hand and arm gestures. Interactions tend to consist of grooming, repair, and activities resembling fetch and hide and seek. From 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. That's not 8 o'clock. What is that? That is 8 o'clock. Dash 1 performs various tasks, including taking stock of material within 100, cleaning and maintaining tools and heavy machinery, and cleaning the interiors and exteriors of buildings present within 100. From 8 o'clock to midnight, Dash 1 performs what is assumed to be leisurely acts, ranging from creating new constructs, interacting with 2A and 2B, and patrolling 100. From midnight to 8 a.m., Dash 1 enters the residential building where it remains seated at a desk for the duration of this time. In the event that a human enters the storefront of 100 during the interval of time Dash 1 is seated behind the counter, Dash 1 will attempt to bargain with them using a variety of gestures to convey meaning. Most attempts by Dash 1 are to sell scrap, figures of its own creation, or repair services. However, it has been known to purchase scrap. Despite Dash 1's inability to read, it possesses the ability to perform basic mathematics as demonstrated by sales. Sales made by Dash 1 are typically met with some degree of unfairness. Dash 1 has been known to intentionally use faulty scales and contaminate scrap piles with cheaper metals, and has demonstrated knowledge of the area effect within 100 as Dash 1 has sold constructs repeatedly despite the loss of autonomy when exiting 100. Efforts to confront Dash 1 about this have been met with both distress and indifference, with referral to a sign posted on the wall reading "No refunds, man," happening regardless of Dash 1's emotional response. 100 was discovered in November 9th, 1976, following reports of strange machines operating from within the scrapyard. These rumors were discredited as urban legends, and a Foundation agent was sent to 100 to act as the landowner until containment was performed under the guise of property sale. A wooden privacy fence was built along the former perimeter of 100. One-way windows were installed in the storefront, and a highway now running through the nearby town of Blank redirects the majority of civilian traffic. Addendum 100A. Records show that the property is owned by one Joseph Duval, with the mailing address sharing the same name. The local utility company's report billing had stopped approximately 3 months before the discovery of 100 and was found abandoned save for Dash 1, 2A, and 2B, and several avian and canine figures presumed to be made by Dash 1. Initial sweep of the buildings revealed the residential building to be mostly bare, with the only sign of former occupants being a note found taped to the door of the storefront, which said, "Out to lunch, please see assistant, JJ." Incident 100A. On June 3rd, 2005, Dash 1 created a humanoid autonomous construct 10 centimeters in height, the first time Dash 1 has done so. Significant effort was put into this construct compared to others, with greater detail applied to the construct, including facial features and JJ welded into the back of the construct, and stainless steel making up the majority of the construct. Dash 1 placed the construct on the counter of the storefront for the duration of this scheduled interval, both using vague gestures to seemingly communicate with one another. Following the confiscation of this construct, Dash 1 remained seated within the residential building of 100 for a total of 10 days. The following is a copy of the note recovered upon discovery of 100, which was, "Out to lunch, please see assistant." Okay, so we have finally made it to SCP-100. In the next episode, we will start at the Hungry Bag and see how far we get before an hour passes. But as of right now, it is at 59 minutes, and that's a good stopping point for this episode. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. This was episode 24 of Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.